I don't usually take Uber late at night, but that night I didn't have a choice. It was a Saturday in downtown Cincinnati. I had met some coworkers for drinks after a conference. I only had 2 beers, but I didn't want to risk driving home. It was around 12:48 a.m. when I requested the ride. The app matched me within 30 seconds. Driver name, Daniel. 4.96 rating. Over 2,000 trips. Gray Toyota Camry. Everything looked normal. Estimated arrival, 3 minutes. I stepped outside the bar and waited near the curb. The street was still active. A few people laughing, cars passing, music spilling out of open doors. The Camry pulled up right on time. License plate matched. Driver photo matched. He looked like the picture. Mid-30s, short brown hair, trimmed beard. I got in the back seat. "Daniel?" I asked. "Yeah. You heading to Mason?" he replied without turning around. That was my city. So far, everything checked out. I buckled my seatbelt and closed the door. The first few minutes were normal. He made small talk, asked if the conference downtown had been busy, asked how long I'd lived in Ohio. Polite, calm, nothing strange. Then we merged onto I-71. About 5 minutes into the drive, I noticed something small. The route on my phone was highlighted in blue, but the car wasn't following it. At first, I assumed it was traffic, but there was no traffic. The GPS showed a right exit approaching. We didn't take it. Instead, he stayed on the highway. I leaned slightly forward. "Hey, I think the app wanted you to take that exit." He paused for half a second, then said, "Yeah, there's construction up there at night. This way's faster." His voice was steady, confident, like he'd done this many times. I checked the map again. There was no construction icon, no traffic warning, nothing. But I didn't want to be paranoid. Maybe he knew a shortcut. 2 minutes later, he took another exit, not toward Mason, toward an industrial area, warehouses, storage facilities, large empty parking lots. The blue route line on my screen recalculated, then recalculated again. My stomach tightened. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice casual, "I think that's not the way to Mason." He didn't respond immediately. He kept driving. Streetlights became less frequent. The road got darker. Then he said something that made my chest tighten. "The app reroutes sometimes, it's fine." But he hadn't looked at his phone once. He wasn't checking anything. He was driving like he knew exactly where he was going. I discreetly opened the Uber app's safety section. There's a feature where you can share your trip status. I tapped it. Shared with my brother. Then I watched the little arrow on the map. It was no longer near any residential streets. We were heading toward an area with almost nothing around. Just long stretches of dark road and fenced-in properties. I felt my heart beating harder. "Daniel," I said more firmly this time, "can you follow the route in the app, please?" Silence. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. Then he laughed softly. "You don't trust me?" That wasn't the right response. "I just prefer sticking to the GPS," I said. He didn't answer. Instead, he reached up and adjusted the rearview mirror so he could see my face clearly, and held eye contact for just a second too long. Then he turned left onto a narrow road. No streetlights, no houses, just a chain-link fence running along one side. The app recalculated again. Estimated arrival time jumped from 18 minutes to 29 minutes. My throat felt dry. I considered telling him to pull over, but we weren't near anything safe. No gas stations, no stores, no traffic. Then something else happened. The Uber app on my phone glitched. The driver's profile picture disappeared. The name at the top changed. It no longer said Daniel, it said driver not found. I stared at the screen. The trip was still active, the timer was still running, but the driver information section was blank. I felt cold. I refreshed the app. Still blank. I looked at the license plate in the front window, still matched what I saw earlier, but something didn't feel right anymore. Then the car slowed down. He turned into a gravel lot, completely empty, no buildings nearby, just open space and a dim security light in the distance. I felt panic rise in my chest. "Why are we stopping?" I asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he shifted the car into park, The engine kept running. He didn't turn around. He didn't unlock the doors. He just sat there. Then he reached for his phone, but instead of tapping the screen, he turned it off. The interior went darker, and that's when I heard it. The child lock click. The sound of the child lock clicking into place is something I'll never forget. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. Just a small mechanical snap. But in that moment, it felt like the loudest thing I'd ever heard. I immediately pulled the door handle. It didn't open. I tried again, harder. Nothing. "Relax," he said calmly from the front seat. That word, relax. Like this was normal. Like I was overreacting. My heart was pounding so hard I felt lightheaded. "Open the door," I said. He didn't turn around. He just stared straight ahead through the windshield. The gravel lot was empty. No other cars, no buildings close enough to run to. The only light came from a single pole near the far edge of the lot. "You're not where you said you live," he said quietly. My stomach dropped. "What?" "You don't look like someone who lives in Mason." My hands started shaking. "What does that even mean? Just unlock the door." He finally turned his head slightly, just enough for me to see part of his face in the dim light. "I've been driving for years," he said. "You learn to read people." That wasn't an answer. That was something else. I tried the Uber app again, still active, still counting time, but the driver information section was blank. No name, no photo, just the map. I hit the emergency button inside the app. It didn't load. Spinning circle. No signal warning popped up at the top of my screen. Full bars, but the app wouldn't respond. He put the car into reverse, slowly. The tires crunched against the gravel. He backed the car deeper into the lot, further from the road, further from the little light. "Stop the car," I said louder now. He didn't react. He shifted into drive again and rolled forward about 20 feet, then stopped. Engine still running. My brain was racing. I scanned the front seats. No visible weapons, no second person, just him. But something about his posture had changed. He seemed calmer, like he'd reached a decision. Then he did something small that made everything worse. He locked the front doors manually. I heard the click. He didn't want anyone opening them from the outside either. My pulse felt like it was in my throat. I thought about kicking the window, but we were in the middle of nowhere. If I broke it and ran, where would I go? I forced myself to think, slow down, look for options. That's when I noticed something. The car wasn't fully in park. It was slightly angled. We were on a very subtle incline. Not much, but enough. He reached into the glove compartment. My entire body tensed, but he didn't pull out a weapon. He pulled out a folded piece of paper. He held it loosely in his hand. "You ever think," he said quietly, "about how easy it is for someone to get into your life?" I didn't answer. "You just press a button. A stranger shows up. You trust the app. You trust the rating." His voice was steady, controlled. "But you don't really know who's driving you." My phone buzzed suddenly. A text from my brother. "Why are you off route?" The notification lit up the back seat. The driver saw it in the mirror. He stared at the reflection of my screen. Then he looked back at the windshield. "You shared your trip," he said. Not angry, just observing. I didn't respond. My brother called immediately after. The phone started ringing loudly in my hand. The driver didn't say anything, but something shifted in his shoulders. A crack in the calm. The phone kept ringing. I answered it. "Yeah?" I said loudly. "We're almost there." I made sure to emphasize almost. My brother didn't play along. "Dude, why are you near the industrial park? That's not even close to your house." The driver heard every word. I saw it in the mirror. His jaw tightened slightly. He put the car into drive again and started moving. Back toward the road, slowly. My brother kept talking. "I'm tracking you. You're way off." Tracking. That word mattered. The driver pulled back onto the main road. The gravel ended. Pavement again. Streetlights in the distance. He didn't say a word. We drove in silence for about a minute. Then he reached forward and turned his phone back on. The interior light flickered slightly. My Uber app refreshed suddenly. Driver name, Daniel. Profile picture restored, like nothing had happened. The blue route line recalculated again, this time heading toward Mason. We drove in complete silence the rest of the way. When we reached my neighborhood, he slowed near my driveway, unlocked the doors. "You should be more careful," he said quietly. I didn't respond. I got out immediately, closed the door. The car drove off. I stood there for a full minute before going inside, hands shaking, heart racing. I checked the Uber receipt. Trip duration, 21 minutes. Normal. No record of the detour. No stop in a gravel lot. Nothing. Just a straight route from downtown to my house. The map showed no deviation, like we never left the highway. I contacted Uber support the next day. They reviewed the trip. According to their system, the driver followed the route exactly as shown. No safety flags, no unusual behavior. 5-star rating history unchanged. I checked my phone's location history. It showed the industrial park, the gravel lot, the stop. But the Uber map didn't. 2 separate systems, 2 different stories. 3 nights later, I opened the Uber app again. Not to book a ride, just to look. And there it was. Suggested driver nearby. Daniel. Gray Toyota Camry. 0.2 miles away at 2:13 a.m. I wasn't going anywhere. I was inside my house, lights off, door locked. But the app showed him waiting nearby. Available. Almost like he was just down the street, waiting for me to press the button again. I deleted the app that night. I don't use ride shares anymore, because I don't think he was trying to hurt me in that lot. I think he was testing something, seeing how far he could go, seeing how long I'd stay calm, seeing if anyone was watching. And the worst part? When he looked at me through the mirror, he didn't look nervous. He looked curious, like he was deciding whether I was worth it. This was Midnight Whispers. If you ever share your ride location, make sure someone's actually watching.